Hey, welcome to Inspect Element and how to use it. This is as part of the intro to front-end engineering. So let's get started. So as you can see here, I have a intro to use Inspect Element folder or directory. I'm just going to drag this into my Visual Studio Code editor. Right. So here I don't have anything in this file or directory. So let's create one. Let's save this. So index.html. Let's create some HTML. HTML5, okay. Elements. All right. Let's say we have h1 hello inspect elements, and then we have a div. Do some lorem ipsum. Let's change it to a paragraph. Another p tag. And that's it. Let's test that out first, right? So here, let's open this up. Ignore that. So we have our basic HTML page. So what I typically do, I just put them side to side as I'm working so that I can see my changes and just refresh immediately. So, okay. So before, I open up this page and I see that I have my text, or I have my H1, I have my 2 paragraphs. Now I want to look under the hood and prototype and see, what's going on. Basically, I just want to look under the hood of my website and see what's going on, and just quickly be able to prototype and see what I can change and what I could add. So what we can do, if you're on a Mac, you just right click, inspect, and that will open up the inspect elements. You can see that for me it's on the right side. Sometimes it could be set up in different ways. Typically you'll see it on the bottom like this. Opens up. The only the only tabs we're concerned with is console and elements. So console, let's say if we run into an error pulling in an image URL that's not correct, it'll show up here. So I'll show you that. So let's do an image source XYZ. All right. If I save that, refresh, and it's going to tell me, error file not found, right? So it's really helpful to tell me and to show me like if there are any errors with any files, the extensions doesn't exist. So we'll fix that later. Refresh, it's gone. So I just have this dock to the side, go here, and let me just zoom in. So this is a typical setup, right? You have your browser on one side, your editor on the other. And let's say I just want to change the text and the styling of this particular element, which is our H1. Go here, right? You can do Command++ to bump that sizing up if it's too small. Go here, I can double click inside, say, hey there, press enter, right? It's not going to save permanently. This is great for just prototyping and testing what you want. I can also go here, element.style, to prototype and check for color. And I can select a bunch of different colors. As you can see, it changes, right? We can add padding, say 10 pixels. that up. To see a little better, let's do a border. 1 pixel solid red. Right? You can kind of see the where the div starts and ends, or this H1, where it starts, where it begins, and where it ends on the page. And yeah, so you can prototype here. So right now, you see this style that's added onto the H1 element. This is called inline styling. So we don't want to do this, right? We don't want to write this. So I can copy and paste this and add this to H1, right? Go like that. So people would typically do this or something, right? And I save, refresh, go back, right? It's permanently there. But this is not what we want, right? You can see that it can quickly get really messy because if I have a ton of styling tags, it's going to be really hard to debug and to narrow down the issue of where, this color, you want to change it to a different color. So you would have to look for this specific element to find the color, right? You don't want to do that. So what you would do in this case is just create a CSS file, right? So go back here and new file, new style, styles.css, and link that here, right? Write a link, CSS, styles.css. Change that. Perfect. Go back, go here. Now what I do is I take what I've prototyped, add that here, and just write a custom CSS class, right? I'll just say custom heading. Do that, paste it there, save, grab this, come back, add it to the class, custom heading, right? Refresh. Now it's more reusable, right? We can grab this class and add it to our P element if we really want to. It's more just to show you that you could do that. So add it as HTML or just add an attribute class equals to custom heading, right? Just applies the same thing to it and so forth. I refresh. Obviously, it's not going to be there. It's not hard coded yet. So the whole purpose is for you to prototype before you add any coding, right? So for our p tag, let's add some margin 10 pixels, right? Push that out into the middle. And I don't know, background. Black, color, white. Right. Add a padding, just like that. And I say, okay, I'm satisfied with this. Go back here, go to our styles and say, I mean, naming's really hard, right? Like once you sort of get the context of what this particular paragraph tag is doing or what it represents, then you can name it appropriately. I'm just gonna say, project DESC, description for short, and just have this as that styling. Go back, say class, right? Perfect. And other ways we can use inspect element is to toggle on and off, right? The colors, to change existing colors, right? We just go here and just change the color, right? To see maybe we want some other color instead of black, blue, violet. Okay, looks good. Go back, paste, right? So as you can see, it's very powerful as a prototyping tool, and also to see exactly what the widths and the heights are, and values of the padding and things like that. So if I go to computed tab, right here, I can see that this particular paragraph has a width of 467 and 72 by 72 height. So if I go down to width, yep, there it is. Height, right? It's locked in. I have a padding of 50. That's because I added a padding of 50 here. Border, none. Has these dashes. Margin, 16. Right? The margin comes from, so there's a margin on top and bottom paragraphs. That is inherent. So if I go to margin 16, see start end, if I go to styles, excuse me, 1EM. So if I just say padding, sorry, margin 0, margin, yeah, margin 0. I'll go here and say margin 0. Refresh and margin is 0. Right? Kind of leaves us at a default margins because the semantic tagging has some inherent CSS values. As you can see here, this is generated by HTML or the web page itself. And you can just normalize it. We usually use like normalize.css, but here we can just put 0 and then add some kind of margin that you actually want. So let's do top down, left and right auto. So that's it. So that is that. So here, you can also delete elements, right? If I don't want this p tag and I want to see how it looks like, press backspace and then Command Z to undo, right? Delete everything, Command Z, right? Test all of that, and Command Z and do that. So what else can we do here, right? You can also force hover states, right? You can right click, force state, active hover, visited, and all these pseudo classes. So what that means is that if you have a hover state, you can force the state to see how it looks like, right? If I force hover, I don't have a hover state. So if I go here, I just add one, right? To test it, so pseudo hover. I want the background to be opposite, right? And then white, save, refresh, and I force that hover, right? It'll be active. And if I just go and hover, right, it'll be active as well. So, but this is forcing it to be active so that we can debug it, right? Maybe we don't want this color. Something like that, right? So we unforce this, just like that. Great. So console here, so let's go back here. Right, we have this image and it's broken. It's telling us it's broken. This is really important because it will let us know that, hey, things are not linking up. Something is missing. Error file not found. Same thing here. If I do style versus styles, and I hit save, right? And you can see my page doesn't even have the styling. So it's going to tell us it's not found. Points us to the line, actually. It says 8. 8. Okay, go back, save. 23. Line 23. Right? So I go here, and I just put in, let's just do some cat funny images. Sweet. Nice. Copy link address. Let's do that. See if this is even a valid address. Yeah. Alright, this is fine. Copy image address. This one. Perfect. getty, and refresh. There it is. Got our image. Quite large, right? Super large. We go here and we specify size. We can say inspect element, go to width 100%. There it is. There. We go back, we know it's 100%. Okay. We want all images to be 100% because that allows it to be fully responsive or responsive design. Right? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Get it? So the cat purring. Right. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions for inspect element. There's a lot more to go to, but this is just the introduction and basics of how to use it. And thank you for watching.